Hello, America. Welcome to our season finale of The Real Deal. So many great things are happening in pop culture. The Jungle Book is killing it at the box office, Game of Thrones is making its comeback, and the entire entertainment industry is remembering the legendary prince. Are we going to talk about that? Nah. We're going to loosen up for once and tell jokes for a whole half hour.
Just like we have every other week, except we're not pretending to be legitimate this time. We've got Rob White and a whole lot more. So get ready for a half hour of dumb, because from Ball State University, The Real Deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm Aiden Hall.
And I'm Sunny Clark. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Also, this is our last episode.
So we say goodbye to the puns and jokes that only the writers think are funny.
In The Caveman, ABC's classic sitcom about insurance and the Thandrals.
Truly one of the greatest live-action sitcoms about primitive, not fully developed human beings since Entourage.
Anyways, we're going to start this episode off with a review.
Rob White is here to review Lemonade, which I can only assume means that he's reviewing Beyonce's latest album.
Though we truly cannot be sure, as Lemonade review was the only thing that Rob wrote in his pre-plan form.
Here's Rob with his review. Rob, review?
Beyonce just released her newest album titled Lemonade last week, and it took the internet by storm. But rather than discussing the album itself like we normally would, we're going to go a little deeper and focus on something that is way more important than the new music from one of the biggest pop artists on the planet, actual lemonade. With naps being number one, lemonade is the second most refreshing thing on the planet. Sometimes life throws you a really hot day. You know those kinds of days where you see your weird neighbor wear those really short shorts that make you extremely uncomfortable just looking at those pacey things he calls legs. And what cool drink hits the spot more than a cold glass of lemonade? Ever since man discovered the act of combining extreme opposites such as sugar and lemons into a substance, lemonade has been prevalent in our society. It has been consumed by many great people in history as well. People such as Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, JFK, even Jesus Christ himself was rumored to have drank the sweet and sour nectar of the gods. With so much variety of the beverage, there seems to be no limit to which you can consume lemonade. You can drink it in a glass, from plastic cups, out of a straw, and if you're really thirsty, you can drink it right out of the pitcher you made it in. You can even switch it up and add a different drink in it, such as sweet tea, and boom! You have a whole new drink, literally named after some old professional golfer named Arnold Palmer. And why is it named after him? You may ask, because why not? You can even throw a different fruit in the drink, such as lime, and now you've got limeade. And don't even get me started on pink lemonade. Lemonade is one of the only few perfect things left in our world today. Have you ever met a person who hasn't drunk it? I didn't think so. Or should I say, I didn't drink so. Not only is it a delicious drink, but it can also promote a sense of freedom. All of us at some point in our childhood built a makeshift lemonade stand in our neighborhoods, hoping to get rich quick off of our neighbors' money. Yes, it might be watered down, and yes, it might only be selling it for 50 cents, but the principle is still there. And to be honest, bad lemonade is still pretty good lemonade. In conclusion, we all sometimes forget to appreciate things we take for granted, so the next time you are at a restaurant about to order a drink, or the next time it's a hot summer day and you are just craving something sour yet sweet at the same time, just take a moment, sit back, and think to yourself, man, I sure could go for some lemonade. Oh yeah, and Beyonce's album was alright too. That's all I have for this week's review of Lemonade. Until next time, I'm Rob White.
Thanks, Rob. We'd like to take this opportunity to plug our sponsors, Mott's Applesauce. Lemons got you down? Reach for the mushy goodness of Mott's.
I love Mott's more than I love anyone on this earth.
We'll be right back with Hannah Pulver, Dylan Bateson, and more. But first, let's go to Angela Ariema, who's in the field for this week's Ball State Celebrity Watch. Angela?
There are no celebrities here.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest musical event of the summer recently happened, and it ain't the Apple Club in Terre Haute, Indiana.
That's right, Coachella just wrapped up this weekend. Here to review the festivities without actually attending is Hannah Pulver. Hannah?
Hey guys, so today I'm reviewing Coachella. At first, I thought it was a new outlet for those super fashionable purses with the letter C all over it, but then I realized that I was utterly and completely wrong. Coachella is the most well-known and awesome music festival in the US. It takes place in Indio, California, and all humans from super hipsters to super celebrities are in the attendance. Because I have better things to spend my money on, and I like the sound of artists best through headphones, and out of the way of mass amounts of other humans, I only attended in spirit, meaning I was there and it was a great time. The music was more bumpin' than a construction site, and with so many artists to choose from, I had a really hard time choosing a favorite. After all the thinking, if I had to choose one artist that stole the show, it would definitely be Clay Aiken. He lit up the whole crowd, bringing back the memories of when American Idol was actually fun to watch, and he really blew us all away. From the Snapchat stories I didn't watch and the YouTube live segments I didn't see, I still feel like this Coachella was an experience I will never remember and never forget. The endless Instagrams of people claiming to be hipsters who all look exactly alike really allowed me to feel like I was there in person as well. And while I'm on the subject of hipsters, I'd like to go on a rant. I think the topic is funny because being a hipster means being different, like going against societal norms and not being categorized. And what do you know? There's a whole style section in every fashion store for the flannels and fake glasses and the coffee mugs. It's just ridiculous. True hipsters will never conform to society's norms, and for that, I thank them. But to those of you who just follow the trends and think of yourself as a hipster, y'all need to chill, fam. Oh shoot, yeah, Coachella. Okay, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I met a lot of friends because of my flower crown and the face paint I had, and I saw lots of people wrapped in hula hoops and styles that were popular. Well, never. Anyway, I'm Hannah Pulver, and I'll Coachella next time. Get it? It kind of sounds like catch you later, but not really.
Thanks, Hannah. It's like I was actually there, managing to see maybe one band I know and accidentally getting locked in a porta potty with all 3 members of the Death Grips.
What's Death Grips?
Imagine an alligator rolling its victim in the mud, but in musical form.
Got it. Anyway, sometimes people let films say things for them that normal communication can't say.
Here with the top 5 movies his girlfriend made him watch that should have singled she wanted out of the relationship is Dylan Bates and Dylan.
Well, over the previous weekend, my girlfriend and I broke up. And honestly, I should have seen it coming, mainly because we had a movie marathon, which really isn't out of the ordinary. But she picked out the movies beforehand and in what order we watched them. And so these are the movies we watched. We started out with The Breakup, which is an rom-com. My first thought was, oh, we're going to watch a bad movie, then go to a good movie. I was right. However, in hindsight, I now realize this was a blunt attempt at what she wanted and wanted the movie marathon as well as the relationship to end. Sadly, I'm not that observant. After my lack of perception and almost 2 hours of wasted time, she threw in 500 Days of Summer. She hoped that this would drive her point home. It didn't, because I have the biggest man crush on Joseph Gordon-Levitt ever, which in turn helped me get into the movie, and I enjoyed it very much. After my intense bromance session, she grew annoyed at how I wasn't catching on, so she played 10 Things I Hate About You, which was a mistake on her part, for 2 reasons. 1, she didn't know I really enjoyed the film. 2, Heath Ledger and his amazing vocal cords. Enough said. Getting even more frustrated, she decided to change the tone and put in Shawshank Redemption, where in that scenario she is Dufresne and I'm either the captain, warden, or the prison. And in hindsight, I may have burned her with more than she could handle. However, I find joy in the idea that she had to crawl through a few miles of crap before reaching her freedom. The final movie we watched was none other than Captain America Civil War. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dylan, it's a superhero movie. How could you possibly take it as a breakup movie? And also, how'd you get the movie? Yes, it is a superhero movie, and that's none of your business. But it has all the stereotypes needed for a breakup. The main couple gets into a fight, they break up, the friends take sides, and then the 2 parties peacefully settle it by beating the ever-loving crap out of each other and destroying an airport in the process. The event that led to the breakup between Iron Man and Captain America was Iron Man found Captain America cheating on him with Bucky, and he is not going to let that stand. None of it. He needs a decent man in his life, and he needs love in it too. He can't go back to Gwyneth Paltrow. Well, that's what I did this weekend. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go grab that corner over there. This still made some sign off.
Thanks, Dylan. We hope that your breakup wasn't too terrible. There's certainly all sorts of things you could find solace in, like a delicious bowl of Mott's applesauce. Mott's, better than the woman that left you.
Stick around. We've got Madison McGill, Brandon, and more. But first, we've got Angelo Ariema on hand for another edition of Muncie Celebrity Watch. Angelo?
There are still no celebrities here. That did not change in between commercial break.
Welcome back. One of the most visually impressive shows on television is Games of Thrones, often providing film-level production value to the small screen.
I have a spoon, and here to give first how they do it, and God knows how long, is Madison McGill. Madison?
You know the one thing I've always wondered? How does Game of Thrones get such lifelike dragons? And how do they grow twice in size each season? They must sprinkle those goats with Miracle Grow. As a fellow mother of dragons myself, I have quite the collection on Dragonvale. I decided to become quite the expert on Game of Thrones dragons. Whatever the Game of Thrones SNL sketch told you is a lie. Listen close. First, as if the step wasn't obvious enough, you must binge watch How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2 and the television series. How else would Daenerys know that what she's doing when it comes to her dragons? What do you think she was doing while the Sons of Harpy were running amok around Meereen, murdering Sir Barristan and injuring her favorite Unsullied? Trying to rule an empire? Pfft, no. Next, after having mastered the Viking ways of dragon-human friendship, they travel to Dragon Island itself, picking only the best fire breathers that come in the colors red, yellow, and green. Blue had already been reserved for Aegon. They wanted to recruit the Red Death, but after hearing it lost to a guy that hiccups on a toothless dragon, they decided it probably wouldn't last against the giant horde of Death Ice people coming for the Wall, or Cersei Lannister. Once they narrowed down the search to their top 3 choices, they befriended the beast by bringing them a dragon's favorite treat, Mott's applesauce, with a side of Newslink reporters, and every single peasant's life supply of goats. Then comes the tricky part, bringing them back to the film site. I mean, it's been 6 seasons and Daenerys still hasn't found a way to cross the narrow sea, and it's a much smaller distance. It's already narrow. So my prediction is Hodor will be sitting on the Iron Throne by the time she gets there. Anyway, to lure the dragons back to Essos, one must take the one ship Khaleesi seems to have, season the goats in the famous Mott's, attach them to barrels, Pirates of the Caribbean style, and leave a breadcrumb trail all the way back to your destination. Once secure under the Stormborn's reign, make sure to feed them regularly and give them the village children to play with. They need target practice. Don't forget to name them after your dead lover or your brother who basically sold you and then threatened to kill your unborn child. Inspirational. Finally, make sure one is loved more than the others. Choose your favorite, and then lock the others in a tomb with no sunlight while Arms of an Angel plays in the distance. And remember, I'm sorry.
Just gonna go back to the top of this.
Thanks. Finally, make sure one is loved more than the others. Choose your favorite, and then lock the others away in a tomb with no sunlight while Arms of an Angel plays in the distance. And remember, Dracarys means dragon fire, so move out of the way. Unless you're born with the blood of a dragon, then you're fireproof. I'm Madison McGill, signing off.
Thank you, Madison. Wow, dragons have come a long way in film since their first appearance at the Munchkins and the Wizard of Oz, finally allowed to be their beautiful selves.
However, not everything in Hollywood can be so well represented.
Here about a rant about representation in Hollywood is Brandon Krakowski. Brandon?
At this point, representation for a wide amount of societal perspectives in film and television is such a necessary thing that hasn't happened yet, it's starting to get a little ridiculous. So many people do not hold as much societal power as the powers that be, and they're constantly denied their stories being brought to the masses, with studios constantly pushing out content to appease those very same powers. However, I'm not here to talk about the representation of people in film. No, I'm here to talk about the fact that there's not enough applesauce present in today's media landscape. Side note, this segment is brought to you by Mott's Applesauce. Mott's, it's good for the olds and babies. Now, I know what you're thinking. Applesauce is that good snack that slides down the throat like good stuff should. Why wouldn't filmmakers want to plaster it all over their films? Or in this commie-like day and age, their SD cards? Well, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. But for too long, applesauce has been denied a role in the mainstream media. I mean, come on. When's the last time you saw a role that was made for applesauce that wasn't taken by Johnny Depp or Emma Stone? And an even bigger shame is that when applesauce is put in the spotlight, producers don't even let that snack that stand on its own. They often have to accompany the delicious mush that makes bears everywhere question their preference towards honey with such food as pork chops. I don't need the carcass of a disobedient pig to remind me that applesauce is the best snack on the planet. Let applesauce speak. Let applesauce speak. And you know, it wouldn't even take that much. Just one scene per film where the actors briefly extol their love of applesauce. Take, for example, my favorite film of all time, Baz Luhrmann's Australia, starring Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman. While the film is a masterpiece of the highest order that was only denied any Oscar nominations because it wouldn't be fair to any of the other films up for awards, I cannot deny that the film is problematic for its lack of applesauce. I mean, would it be so hard for a film about World War II, I think, to include a single Mott's applesauce cup? In fact, here, I have an idea for a scene on hand that I'm going to read to you at this very moment. Hello, Nicole, it's me, Hugh Jackman. I'm the hunk with the claws. Hello, Hugh, it's me, Nicole Kidman, she who sings with Ewan McGregor. Boy, it sure is odd here in Australia during World War I, II, I don't know. Oh, it sure is. Here, have a scoop from my Mott's applesauce mug. It's delicious and nutritious. Don't mind if I do. Oh, how is it? Oh, it's the mush of the gods, Kidman. Now, back to the plot of Baz Luhrmann's Australia. Would that be so hard? Would that be so unreasonable? I truly don't think it would be. We've allowed chocolate and cheeses their chance in the spotlight time and time again. I think it's about time that entertainment producers around the world finally give applesauce the stage the snack absolutely deserves. Only then will we fix literally all of the ills in our country. Until next season, this is Brandon Krakowski.
Thank you, Brandon, for your moving and passionate argument.
Stay tuned for our final word, but right before that, we've got Angelo Ariema one last time with the Muncie Celebrity Watch. Angelo!
I think John Mellencamp was here a couple weeks ago, but no, none now. No celebrities now.
For my final word, I have a bit of a confession. Ever since its release, I've been ragging on the film Interstellar. I've said that I find it to be meaningless, pretentious garbage, void of interesting characters, plots, or anything. However, dear viewers, I'm here today to announce that this is not the case. I actually love the film. It's one of the greatest cinematic marvels that I've ever seen. Nolan truly outdid himself with this one. The film is just as good, if not better than 2001, without any of those boring, intelligent, or well-thought-out points about humanity. Nope, this is a thrilling space movie through and through. It dangles vague concepts of childhood and abandonment on the screen, which automatically makes it good, just like Mott's applesauce. Base level, broad thoughts during a movie are good because that doesn't mean that I have to try to think too hard as an audience member. Who wants to be left thinking during a film when you can be fed basic thoughts and concepts as creamy as Mott's applesauce? Available at supermarkets all around the country. However, while everything I've said about Interstellar is true so far, I haven't hit the reason I've been so harsh on the film yet. The film made me fall in love with Matthew McConaughey. I liked him in films in the past, I mean, who hadn't? But there was something about seeing his oval head in that sexy astronaut costume made me open my eyes to the true nature of Mr. Alright. beauty. Matthew possesses that easygoing yet simultaneously hardworking feeling with such finesse it makes me wonder why Brandon wrote this. I mean, talk about a man who can do it both. Not only did Matthew manage an entire farm on his own, but he also turned out to be a first-class space pilot who saved the human race. You know what saves the human race from potassium lacking? Mott's applesauce. There's also something about his eyes. They're as golden as Mott's applesauce. When I look into Matthew's eyes, I see good and evil all at once. Sin and sanctifying, how I describe Mott's applesauce. The best and the worst, dazed and confused, and fool's gold. Now, I'm not especially good in putting myself out there. That's why I'm the host of an entertainment news show. However, I want to break all of my inhibitions and finally get this out into the world. Matty Mick, as some call you, I love you. I want to be with you. Oh, excuse me, the Mott's is coming up. For the rest of my life. I don't have a ring to propose with at the moment, but what I can offer you as a proposal gift is the 20% share that I bought in Mott's Corporate over the last commercial break. The applesauce is so good, I want to be a part of it financially. Here's the top reasons why you should say yes. 5, we make each other happy. 4, we'd be financially stable. 3, I'd watch all your movies with you, even Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. 2, again, Interstellar is very, very good. And the number one reason, Matthew, if you accept my proposal to marry, I can promise quiet nights on a California beach. The purple sun will be setting. A light wind will pick up some grains of sand as its passengers on its trip into the ether. You'll come up behind me in your white dress shirt, buttoned halfway down. I can easily see your tattoo. The one that reads, buy Fool's Gold on Blu-ray. But don't be a fool and buy this gold today. You come up behind me, putting your left arm around me and dipping a cup of delicious Mott's applesauce into my mouth with your right arm. I am, of course, nude. I'll ask you how you would feel if every day ended like this for all eternity, even as our bodies decayed, becoming closer and closer to the ground from which apple trees can arise and form good Mott's applesauce. You reply into my left ear with a nibble. It'd be all right. What a beautiful scene, Matty. And we can share that life together if you accept my proposal. Now, as I wait for your response, I will consume this delicious Mott's. I have a lifetime supply, you know.
Well, while we wait for Matthew McConaughey's full acceptance of your proposal, I suppose I should say a little something about this season of The Real Deal. Now, we've had the chance all school year to report on the entertainment world, and to be honest, we here at The Real Deal love doing what we do more than anything else we could fathom. We've all had the chance to connect with incredible people, learn new and exciting things around the studio and internet, and most importantly, we've had a great time doing it. Before we sign off for the season, I'd like to sincerely thank a few groups of people. First, our talent for coming on camera every week and absolutely crushing it. It's quite difficult to be put in that sort of position, and we can't thank you all enough for it. Of course, I also need to give a shout out to the TV crew for our tapings. Though the operating room may not be the tamest place in the world, you all still manage to direct and record an incredible show week after week. Next, our TV writers. The show would not have its voice without its team of writers, and to them, we are all grateful. Of course, we can't leave our website team, both its designers and writers. They ensure that our output is excellent on all fronts, not just our show. Here's to them for always having something great to post on all of our feeds. And finally, a quick thank you to our producers team who run this show so incredibly well. From everyone else at the show, you guys are the absolute best. So here's to season 11 of The Real Deal and to all of the seasons to come. And that about wraps it up. Be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Sunny Clark. And that was Aiden Hall. I guess the applesauce was too much for him. Anyways, thank you for an incredible season 11, and we'll see you in the fall.